Hey there. Have you ever slipped on a pair of shoes in the morning and thought, ouch, my feet are not happy about this? I know I've been there, those days when every step feels like a reminder that our feet aren't as forgiving as they used to be. As we get older, our feet take on a lot, years of walking, standing, maybe even dancing, and they deserve some extra care to keep us moving comfortably. That's why today, I want to talk with you about choosing the right footwear to protect your feet, especially after 60. It's not just about avoiding blisters or sore toes, it's about staying steady, feeling good, and keeping up with the things you love to do. We're going to walk through 5 simple tips to find shoes that work for you, not against you, and I'll share some stories and ideas to make it easy. So, let's kick things off with the first tip, making sure your shoes fit just right. You'd think finding the right size would be a no-brainer, but here's the thing, our feet change over time. They might get a little wider, or maybe your arches aren't as high as they once were. Squeezing into a pair that's too tight or slipping around in ones that are too big can leave you wincing by lunchtime. My friend Clara, she's 68, used to buy the same size she'd worn since her 30s, thought it was set in stone. But last year, she noticed her toes felt cramped, and her heels were rubbing raw. She finally went to get measured at a shoe store, and guess what? Her feet had gone up half a size and widened a bit. She picked out a pair with a little more room, and she told me it was like walking on clouds, no more pinching or pain. The trick is to try shoes on later in the day when your feet are a bit swollen from being up and about, that's when you'll get the real fit. And don't be shy about walking around the store a bit to test them out, your feet will tell you if they're happy. It's not just about the size, either, width matters, too. Look for shoes labeled wide if your toes feel squished, or ask a salesperson to help you find the right cut. Clara keeps it simple now, she checks that she can wiggle her toes and that the sides don't hug too tight. It's a small thing, but getting that fit dialed in means you're not hobbling around or dreading the next step. Your feet have earned a little breathing room, and the right size is the first way to give it to them. Now, once you've got the fit sorted, there's another piece that's just as key, cushioning. After years of carrying us around, our feet lose some of that natural padding, and every step can feel a bit harder on the joints. That's where good cushioning comes in, it's like a soft landing for your soles. My neighbor Tom, he's 71, used to wear these flat, stiff sneakers because they looked sharp. But he'd come home from his walks complaining about achy heels and tired legs. One day, his daughter dragged him to a store and made him try a pair with some extra padding, think memory foam or a thick insole. He grumbled about it at first, said they felt too puffy, but after a week, he was hooked. He said it was like his feet got a break, and he could stroll around the park without feeling beat up. You don't need anything high-tech, just look for a sole that's got some give, maybe a little bounce when you press down. Slip them on, and if it feels like you're stepping on a pillow, you're onto something good. Cushioning isn't about babying your feet, it's about keeping them strong for the long haul. Tom's still out there walking every day, and he swears it's because his shoes are doing some of the work for him now. So, with the right fit and a comfy cushion under your toes, let's move on to how support can keep you steady on your feet. So, we've got your feet feeling good with the right fit and some cozy cushioning to soften every step, 2 big wins already. But there's another piece that can make all the difference, especially as we get older and our balance isn't quite what it used to be. I'm talking about support, finding shoes that hold your feet steady and keep you from wobbling when you're out and about. That's the next tip I want to share, picking footwear with solid support to protect those precious feet of yours. You might have noticed that your arches don't spring back like they did years ago, or maybe your ankles feel a little less sure on uneven ground. That's pretty common, our feet change shape over time, and they need a little extra help to stay strong. Good support in a shoe is like a friend holding your hand, it keeps everything in line so you can move with confidence. My cousin Ed, he's 70, learned this the hard way. He used to wear these flimsy slip-ons because they were easy to kick off at the door. But one day, he twisted his ankle stepping off a curb, nothing serious, but it shook him up. His doctor suggested shoes with better arch support, so he tried a pair of walking shoes with a firm sole and a little lift under the arch. He told me it felt strange at first, like his feet were being bossed around, but now he swears he feels taller and steadier. He's back to pottering around his garden without worrying about every pebble. The trick is to look for shoes that don't flop around when you wiggle them, something with a sturdy base and maybe a bit of structure around the heel. If your arches are flat or your feet roll inward, you might even try an insole that fits inside your shoe for extra lift. Ed keeps it simple. He presses down on the middle of the shoe in the store, and if it doesn't collapse, he knows it's got his back. It's not about locking your feet in place, it's about giving them a foundation so you can walk to the mailbox or chase the grandkids without a second thought. And while we're keeping things steady, let's talk about traction, because support isn't much good if you're slipping all over the place. As we age, a little stumble can feel like a bigger deal, and the right sole can stop that before it starts. My friend Ruth, she's 66, used to love her smooth-bottomed loafers, said they looked classy with everything. But after a rainy day when she nearly slid across her kitchen floor, she decided it was time for a change. She picked up a pair of shoes with rubber soles and some grip, nothing clunky, just enough to grab the ground. She told me she feels like she's got glue on her feet now, in a good way, no more skidding on wet leaves or slick tiles. She even wore them to her dance class and said she could shuffle with the best of them without worrying about a fall. You don't need hiking boots or anything over the top, just check the bottom of the shoe for some texture, those little grooves or bumps that dig in. Ruth's tip is to rub your finger across the sole. If it feels rough, it'll stick when you need it to. It's a small thing, but it's like insurance for your steps, especially on those days when the weather's not playing nice. So, with support keeping you balanced and traction holding you firm, let's explore how the right material can keep your feet comfy all day long. Alright, so we've got your feet fitted right, cushioned like they're on a little vacation, supported to keep you steady, and gripped with traction to stop any slips. That's a pretty solid setup. But there's one more thing that can take your footwear from good to great, especially for those of us over 60, and it's all about the material your shoes are made of. That's what I want to chat about next, choosing shoes that let your feet breathe and feel good, no matter how long you're on them. You've probably had that moment where you kick off your shoes at the end of the day and your feet feel like they've been trapped in a sauna, hot, sweaty, maybe even a little sore. As we age, our feet can get fussier about heat and pressure, and the wrong material can make it worse. That's why going for something breathable, like leather or mesh, can be a game changer. My neighbor Linda, she's 73, used to wear these stiff plastic Y sneakers because they were cheap and easy to clean. But she'd complain about her feet feeling clammy, and she'd get these red spots where they rubbed. One day, she splurged on a pair of leather walking shoes, soft ones with little holes for air. She told me it was like her feet could finally take a deep breath, and those hot spots? Gone. She's out tending her roses for hours now, and her feet don't complain one bit. It's not about fancy labels. Leather's great because it molds to your foot over time, and mesh lets the air flow so you're not stewing in there. If your feet swell a bit during the day, like mine do sometimes, a flexible material gives them room to stretch without pinching. Linda's trick is to feel the inside of the shoe. If it's smooth and soft, not stiff or scratchy, she knows it'll treat her right. And if you're worried about rain or spills, a quick spray of water repellent keeps them practical without sealing them up tight. It's like giving your feet a comfy home instead of a stuffy cage. Now, while we're on the topic of comfort, there's another angle to this that's worth a look, making sure your shoes match what you're up to. Our days aren't all the same, right? Some mornings you're just popping to the store, others you're strolling with friends or standing at a family party. Picking footwear that fits the occasion can keep your feet protected without overdoing it. My pal George, he's 68, used to wear the same heavy boots everywhere, thought they were tough enough for anything. But his toes would ache after a long day, and he'd shuffle around like he was worn out. His wife got him a lighter pair for casual walks, something with a flexible sole and a bit of give. He still keeps the boots for yard work, but for everyday stuff, he's in those walkers. He says it's like his feet get to relax when they need to, and he's got more spring in his step for the grandkids. It's not about a closet full of shoes, just a couple of pairs that suit your life. If you're on your feet a lot, maybe go for that cushioned support we talked about earlier. If it's a quick errand, something easy to slip on with good traction does the trick. George checks his plans each morning and picks accordingly, keeps it simple and smart. So, with the right material keeping things airy and your shoes matching your day, you're set to step out feeling great. Here's the rundown: fit them right, cushion the ride, support your stride, grip the ground, choose comfy materials, and pick for the moment. It's all about giving your feet the care they've earned after all these years. What's your go-to pair, or is there a tip here you're ready to try? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. If this hit the spot, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more ways to keep moving strong. Here's to happy feet and happy days, no matter your age.